because we've done a lot of riding together, he'll know when I do the downward and, not the and, if you see what I mean, steady. I do a downward inflection and, or if I'm going up a gear, I go and. Yes, good boy. You see that? Good boy. And that was just me talking to you. I wasn't even talking to you, was I? No. And I'm a firm believer in talking to horses, as you know. And I quite understand that you don't want to do that when you're show jumping and you're doing your dressage, particularly, because you'd be banned. But I think if you're just a happy hacker like Renz and myself, what's the harm in talking to your horse? They do understand the words, and I think it just makes you closer to your horse. You know, I feel it builds a bond. I know they have to learn a language in a way, because obviously they don't talk like that to their field mates, do you? Not like dogs, they do a lot of calling to dogs. But we know that horses do talk to each other. They're not silent. If they hear a horse in a distance, especially a herd member, they'll call out. They're not worried about being eaten because they've called. It's just starting to drizzle, just a little. So I just hope that's just going to mosey on to somewhere else so that we can get Apollo out. Renzi's going to tack him up for me and get him brushed ready, just so that if the rain does come, I can quickly get him out and back before we get completely soaked. Rot. So I didn't use my half halt there, which is the and it does make a difference having a half halt, because it gets their attention before you ask the question. Doesn't mind that pipe now. He didn't used to like going over that pipe because it was a bit snake-like. Walk. You've got to be careful you don't say the wrong word, of course, because otherwise it spoils your connection. If you say whoa and you let them carry on walking, that's bad, isn't it? Just like a dog. If you tell a dog to sit and then you don't make him sit, it loses its meaning. Good boy. Good boy. So I'm going to have another little drink, just because I don't need one, but I'm just practicing with Farouk so that he just wanders along. Don't eat that. So he just wanders along and gets used to me fiddling about with not holding the reins. Like that. So unscrew. I don't know how far it unscrews, maybe that's as far as it goes. That's good. I think it's a pull actually. Yes, it's a pull. I thought it was an unscrew, but it's a pull. I've just realised. There we go. So you have to suck quite hard. Maybe take that away. So you have to... I don't know how else to say it really. You have to suck quite hard to get the water to flow, but that's okay. I'm not really, I mean, I could trot him down this bit, but I don't tend to do that with my horses because I always feel it maybe jars the front legs because they're sort of having to sort of break with the front legs. So I don't tend to do that. If I had to, obviously I would, but as a rule I don't tend to trot down a slope like this, which is quite high, well, quite steep. Oops, bit of a slip there, wasn't it? Okay. And Canter. Good boy. Trot. Trot. That's naughty. Trot. Good boy. Good boy. Back to normal. Trot. Good boy. We don't canter on tarmac. Slow. Quite keen, as you can tell. I'm having to keep a little connection with his mouth with the rein and to the bit because he's wanting to go, so I'm having more pressure on his bit than I would normally. And what I mean by pressure is I'm squeezing one hand and then the other so I'm not just pulling, I'm doing a little squeeze and then let go. There we go. And there you can see now he's relaxed. But before I had to keep pumping the rein like that with my hands because he was wanting to be off, weren't you? Yes, you were. So we're not having a canter on there now because we're nearly to the top now. Dear. But you have to expect this sort of thing when you're getting them to peak fitness. I wouldn't say Farouk is totally peak fitness, but I think he's pretty near. And you have to expect that they do get a bit more reactive because they've got so much energy and they feel so good in themselves that they tend to be not quite as good as they normally are. Is that right, isn't it, Farouk? Yes. Hence him breaking twice into canter on the road. Just because he feels so good. He feels so good in himself. He feels super fit. And he's having a little bit more outshine than he was. Because he's doing a bit more work. But he has got a lot of grass and he is spending a lot of time out in the field. And there's a lot of grass in the field. Not like the paddock where there's none and we have to supply hay. The only trouble with that, of course, is when they're at home, as they were when we had that really hot weather, and they weren't going to the field at all, and they had very little grass, and we were supplementing with the hay. Of course, when they get to the field where there's loads of hay, they just gorge themselves. And there's nothing you can do about that unless you put on a bucket, just to slow down their eating. But with my horses, well, particularly I have never tried it, but with Apollo, you know that he would not like that, and he would get it off. So I know they're a little bit overweight, but I don't want to put a feed bucket on. I could bring them home and just supplement with the hay and the grass, but then as soon as you do put them in the big field, they will just gorge themselves, and you've just wasted your time, really. So no. So just have a little canter on this stubble.
If you've enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon. We love reading the comments, we love emojis, and we'd love a thumbs up. Would you like to look at some of our older videos? If so, all you need to do is click on the Apollo icon, which will take you to our home page. We have over 2,000 videos to choose from. Thanks for watching TTFN.